Now, here's Ed Bernstein.
Hi, welcome to our show. Hey, you ever wonder when you're making a hotel reservation, hey, do I go on Expedia, Priceline, do I go into the hotel's website? How do I do this? Well, with me today is an expert, Cliff Atkinson, who is, what is your title over at the Mandarin Oriental?
General Manager of Mandarin Oriental, yes.
Of one of the finest hotels in the world. And I wanted to, look, when you think of what are the greatest hotels in the world, you think of the Mandarin Oriental, you think of the Four Seasons, you think of maybe the Ritz.
Sure.
You know, how do you separate those three? I mean, when you think of those three chains, like how would you describe the Mandarin Oriental compared to the Four Seasons?
No, it's a great question. All of those brands are wonderful that you mentioned. With Mandarin, we're a little bit different with our roots steeped in Asia. So our Asian approach to hospitality differentiates us from even other luxury hotels like Four Seasons or Ritz-Carlton. It's just our approach and our unobtrusive service. We're always there for you, but we're not going to be in your face or heavy.
So when you walk into the Mandarin Oriental, do you expect an Asian restaurant in every hotel?
Definitely Asian items on all of our menus,
right,
whether it's in-room dining or our 3-meal-a-day restaurant. It's that journey through Asia we want to take you on wherever our hotels are. We have 28 hotels around the world today, and it's those subtleties from Asia that link our collection of hotels.
Of course, the Mandarin Oriental is at the City Center.
Yes.
And it's the only hotel there right now that doesn't have a casino.
Correct. We're the only hotel right on the Strip that is non-gaming, non-smoking, so all we focus on is service. We're part of Aria. We sit right in front of Aria, so we're their luxury hotel right there at City Center.
So a lot of people are skeptical about that being successful because it didn't have. I mean, years ago in Las Vegas, I remember it was a Lexus Park, and there was 1 or 2 hotels like that that did not have casinos.
Right.
So some of them have failed.
Right.
So Mandarin Oriental comes, I mean, you have a big name, but you're in a very crowded location. I mean, there's a lot of casinos in that area.
There's a lot, and in fact, I tell our head office in Hong Kong all the time, this is the world's largest hotel market, so we're competing against the best, the world's best. And so for us, I think a lot of people were skeptical. Could a 5-star hotel without gaming really make it? And you know, we opened in December 2009, the worst economic time for the world. But I think over the years, we've stabilized the past couple of years, and we've proven that we can do it, and we can do it with a focus on people, both the colleagues that I work with that run the hotel, and our guests and residents that stay with us as well.
And you talk about people. You're doing business in a town which is probably world-renowned for its school system and for the potential training of people in the hospitality and the culinary business. I mean, how helpful is that?
Incredibly helpful to have UNLV, even CSN. The amount of students who want to get into the business in town is so helpful. Every year we have to recruit for our pool, which is seasonal, and we're able to get these best young minds that are 18, 19, 20 years old. They're going to go on to other professions. Some will stay in hospitality, we hope, but we're able to recruit from these bright young minds right in our backyard.
So when you're looking to recruit for somebody at your hotel, and let's say you're at a UNLV and you're talking to students and you're looking for certain qualities, what would those qualities be?
Well, for our business, I really think experience is not as important as attitude. It's the parents, the families who've raised their children. They come with natural hospitality, a natural approach. They want to take care of people, and that's what I look for. We have a pretty rigorous interview process at Mandarin Oriental. Every interview, or for every position rather, there's at least 5 interviews, and I have the final interview with everyone, no matter what their position is in the hotel. A concierge, housekeeping, sales, and what I look for is, how am I going to feel if I'm the guest on the other side of that front desk, or in our chaise lounge at the pool, or a client doing business with one of our salespeople? I look for that attitude.
So if somebody wanted to get into the hospitality business, let's say somebody wants to get a job at the front desk at the Mandarin Oriental, how would you recommend, what would be the path look like? How would you recommend they proceed?
I would recommend looking for what's available right now. An employment win-win is when the business has a need and the potential employee has a need for a job. And it's take any job that's available. Start from the bottom. I started washing dishes. I started as a line cook. The more you know about the business, the better your career can progress. And so if you get to know the back or the heart of the house a little bit, then when you work at the front desk, you know how the hotel works and you know how to better take care of that guest in front of you.
When you were working in that kitchen, did you think that you wanted to be in the hotel business as you got older?
Well, I wanted to be a chef, and this is before, Top Chef and before being a chef was cool, in the late 80s. And so I went to St. Thomas in the Virgin Islands. I was a line cook and a sous chef down there. And I came back to finish school, and I got a front of house job because I worked with my school schedule, similar to a lot of these UNLV kids who are working with us now. And I realized I really liked the front of house, and I just kept working, and the people above me, my mentors, said, hey, why don't you do this? Why don't you do sales? Why don't you do front office? Why don't you do housekeeping? And I did all of those and just kept working, and happened to find a fantastic brand that supported me.
What are some of the factors of the Mandarin Oriental in Las Vegas that you find exceptional?
I really think it's unique that we're the only hotel in this incredible market that has the Forbes 5-star awards for both the hotel, our spa, the spa at Mandarin Oriental, and Twist by Pierre Gagne. We're the only hotel that has that distinction for all three areas. In addition to our AAA 5-diamond for all three areas. We've been at the top of TripAdvisor since we've opened, and I think it's that critical feedback that that gives us credibility to what we're doing here in this incredible market.
And the Twist restaurant's on the very top floor of the Mandarin Oriental, right?
Yes, so it's on our 23rd floor. That's where all the activity is. So we have Twist, our incredible tea lounge. We're also the only hotel that's doing 7-day-a-week traditional British and Chinese tea service in our tea lounge. Really special. And our fantastic Mandarin bar, the views, and as well as the cocktails and the service really make it a unique space. That's all on our 23rd floor.
Is it difficult to, like when you talk about your spa, is it difficult to get, the best masseuses and masseurs, because there's so much competition, so many spas in town?
The war for talent is constant, but I think it's how we reward, how we recognize, and how we treat our people. As a GM, I want to treat my colleagues the same way that I treat our guests, and I think that's easier said than done in large properties, but for a small hotel like us with only 500 colleagues, which is small for Vegas. We're a big Mandarin Oriental, but small for Las Vegas. We know each other. We really can operate like a family.
Right. What is your favorite part of the job?
It's the people. It's the day-to-day. No 2 days are alike. We are in the service business, so crazy things happen. But it's really working with my colleagues who inspire me daily with what we call moments of delight, and that's going above and beyond for our guests and empowering them to do that. And seeing them accomplish that really inspires me.
And that's got to be a difficult job at the Mandarin Oriental because, you're dealing with really upper-end, people, travelers who expect a lot of service, who are accustomed to a lot of service, and I'm sure at times have, outrageous demands.
They do, and so when you bill yourself as the best, or if people go on like a TripAdvisor search, or they see these awards from Forbes, the expectation is high, and so we have to be on our game every day, and that's the biggest challenge, is keeping everyone that I work with motivated day in and day out to be the best, and that does take a lot of work, but that's also the rewarding part.
What about security in today's world at hotels? I mean, sometimes you drive into the Venetian or some of the other hotels, and there's guards that are, before you even get into the parking garage, looking at you. At the Mandarin Oriental, you don't really notice that. I mean, it's all, kind of covert.
It is. Yeah. It is. It's a fine balance between hospitality, that welcoming feeling when you arrive, versus safety and security, and making sure that everyone is protected, our guests, our colleagues, the asset. And it's one that we know at Mandarin Oriental well from opening. We opened our hotel in New York, less than a year after 9/11. And again, at one point, they wanted us to X-ray every piece of luggage coming into the hotel because that was the feeling in New York at the time. So you have to balance it. But yes, we are covert. There are cameras everywhere. That was eye-opening coming to Vegas too. Right. There are cameras everywhere to protect us, but we really try to balance hospitality with safety and security, which is also a priority for our guests.
I mentioned in the beginning that oftentimes it's confusing for people to reserve a room in a hotel. You don't know
Yes.
whether to go into that hotel's website, into Expedia, into hotels.com, or what is the best way to get a room reservation?
Yeah, Ed, you're right. There are so many ways a guest can book a room. I happen to think the best is either going direct to the brand website. So for us, mandarinoriental.com. But that's the best way for most chains, or going to the hotel directly. We're in the human business, so there's nothing like talking to a person face-to-face, talking to the hotel directly, so you, the traveler, can know you are getting the best rate and you're going to get the best service when you're walking in. You've already established a relationship with the hotel directly.
Yeah, I mean, my personal experience, I found that to be very true. Sometimes you go online and there'll be, there's no rooms available. Then you make a phone call over to the hotel, and all of a sudden there's something open. So that leads me to my next question. Is it better to reserve early or last minute?
It's a good question, because the answer is it depends. It depends on the time of year. So when you think of the major events that we have here in Las Vegas, CES in January, people know it's going to be jammed, so they book far out, but we know the city will be busy, so the rates during those time periods are set appropriately. Then you have something unique like the recent Mayweather-Pacquiao fight, which was fantastic for the city, where rates were moving all over as soon as the fight was announced to about a week before, when people couldn't get tickets, and then there was a little bit of a glut of inventory. So it really depends. But hotels do offer, more and more hotels are offering discounts and incentives to book early, to reserve your room ahead of time, so the hotel can manage its business.
Let me ask you about some of the problems that hotels, not your hotel, but hotels in general have. Sure. A couple years ago, a big thing, particularly in New York, was the bed bug issue.
Yes.
Right? I mean, what does a hotel do? If you have a customer that complains about bed bugs, what do you do?
Well, the first thing is that we listen. We always make sure we respect what the guest is saying. We listen, and then we investigate and act. With Mandarin Oriental, we have a very detailed, what we call, preventative maintenance program. I always have rooms out of order where everything is being addressed, including bed bug prevention, everything from a fire, life, health, and safety standpoint to cleaning the shower heads. We always have something out of order where we're working to improve and to maintain. We have very, very high standards, generally higher than most local, state, and in some cases the federal level.
Right, especially when you have a lot of international travelers. I think that's probably difficult to control.
Exactly, and as a global brand with hotels all over the world, there are different requirements in different countries. So we take the best from every region and try to take it one level up from there.
I mean, having an Asian-themed hotel in Las Vegas, you would think that it would be almost a no-brainer to have a casino. I mean, because
right.
All the other casinos in town are doing everything in their power to get the Asian player into their establishment.
Exactly.
Right.
With us, it's about positioning the hotel as the alternative to those Las Vegas gaming and casino opportunities. For us, it's saying, hey, we are the oasis. That's the word we see on guest comment cards and on TripAdvisor the most. Oasis, and we call ourselves Zen City instead of Sin City. So you have the access to all of that that the town has to offer, the incredible shows, the dining, everything around town, the action, the clubs now. But we are the retreat. We are where you can come back and relax by the pool and breathe fresh air. I mean, not only do we not have gaming or shows, we don't even have smoking in our building. Right. So it really is a healthy wellness alternative, which we think today's traveler is really looking for.
So do you have a relationship with the area, for instance, for people who want to gamble? Is there
Absolutely.
some synergy there?
We have a
Yeah.
very close relationship with ARIA, and so that's where we send our guests who are looking for the gaming, the excitement. We can set our guests up with personal hosts at ARIA, which is good for being the top hotel. We can get that level of guest right into ARIA, and we have great synergies with them.
Yeah. So most people would think that the Mandarin Oriental is not affordable, right? But it's you know, I think it's reasonably priced compared to a luxury hotel. Right?
Yes, and you know, that was the battle when we first opened. You know, if you look at what our hotel charges in New York or Paris, generally over $1,000 a night. For us, you know, we're typically priced about half that, and priced in a market where we are competing against the world's best, who are looking to get the traveler in, so they spend money in other revenue streams. So that's been an interesting learning from us. We learned from that from when we opened, but we're priced competitively in the market, and it's also a great value because you are getting a world-class experience at a value price when it comes down to the rate that you're paying.
Right. And this is not left exclusively for tourists. I mean, the Twist restaurant is, boy, if you have a special occasion, it is not a greater place to celebrate than Twist. The upstairs bar, and I've been to some of these places, the upstairs bar that you have is, as you said, an incredible view and an amazing, amazing environment. The spa, your spa I haven't been to yet.
You need to come, Ed. You need to come and experience that. It's different.
In what regard?
I think, you know, with there's fabulous spa product in town, but ours, again, being based from Asia, the space that you have, the treatments that we offer, and the time. It's not a 60-minute massage that a lot of people in town offer. Ours is really a time ritual that gives you time to de-stress, enjoy your treatment, and then time after to relax and enjoy. In today's crazy world, that's really the new luxury, time and the option of having what you want when you want it.
So, you will experience all of this at the Mandarin Oriental. Thank you so much, Cliff Atkinson, and it's nice to have you on.
Ed, thank you for having me.
Accidents don't discriminate. They can happen anywhere to anybody. It really comes down to results.
Enough said. Call Ed.
I'm Ed Bernstein, and I've been getting those results for nearly 40 years.
EdBernstein.com.